Now we're going to put on these, we call them plastic legs. Because of how she did with Herman, at this point in time, she would resist Herman and rear up. But with the plastic legs, you don't have that big mannequin to fall. So now we have like a rider's legs, right down even below the stirrups. Oftentimes I tell people when I'm working the little saying, there are old heroes and there are bold heroes. But there aren't very many old, bold heroes. So whether you're flying an airplane or working with the Mustang, don't be heroic. Your greatest heroics are in finishing with a gentle horse, not in doing crazy things like leaving a rider on the horse when the horse wasn't ready for the rider. Okay, now we bring Herman back in. And I think I'll leave the legs right on. Now we'll see what we can do with Mr. Herman. Easy now. We have to change sides now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop. Oh, good girl. So now we have shopping bags on the side, plastic tarp around the middle, and the first rider of her life up on top. And still, it's important to see that she doesn't want to buck. This is the only time that you can long line with a rider on. You cannot long line with a live rider on.
It's just too dangerous. People have been killed by being tangled up in the long lines.
I'm going to belly Philip over first, just like we did Herman. wherever you think. I say mount her, huh? Straight in? Yeah. Yeah. Much better. She got in kind of a habit there, didn't she? See? I'm loosening. See? Now you can see how much more difficult it would be for her if she hadn't had all of those things. And you can walk through each of the steps that I took to get her happy taking the rider, not to force her to take the rider. My father would have tied a hind leg up on her so she only had 3 legs to stand on. And then they would whip her when she moved, really whip her, and get her to freeze with pain. The leg tied up, maybe she throws herself down several times. And forever they'll resent the rider. But this filly has had nobody angry with her, no pain. Nobody's hit her or even raised the voice to her. Let's just let her trot around here a little bit. And I think you'll see that with all that effort, that we've come a long way now to getting her comfortable with the rider on her back. I'm not just sure how to do this.
Now you know that this was an extremely challenging filly, and yet look, not one sign of exhaustion and not a drop of sweat.
The scientific books all say that the most traumatic day in a horse's life is the day of their first rider. And that was her first rider, so she must be traumatized. And those same scientific books will say, when the horse is traumatized, they cannot remain in the presence of a human being. They have to go away from a human being. And I believe that's true. If they're traumatized, they do, but she's not traumatized. She went through a little trauma with those things that she didn't like, but never toward a human being. No animosity toward a human being.